Hello everyone, welcome to Manika IAS. So before we today start our daily news analysis, I would like to tell you one thing. So many of your students have been asking ki, is this discussion that we are doing here is sufficient when it comes to your daily news reading? See, and can you replace this with your newspaper? The thing is, newspaper is essential. You know these kind of readings will help you in understanding the things in more detail, because when as you are an aspirant and you have very limited time and a vast syllabus to cover along with your daily newspaper itself take around 2 to 3 hours if you read it. So this reading will help you, this explanations will help you in reducing your effort of digging down the facts and analyzing those facts. So this is the purpose of this particular session. However, reading newspaper is essential. See, because it builds a thought of chain. Because when you read newspaper, there are it's a daily progression of how the events are occurring, and it will reduce your effort in memorizing things. If you are reading newspaper, even if you're not reading the details, if you glance through the major events which has been occurring here and there, so that will build a thought of chain in your mind, and you need not remember everything. You need not sit down and mug up like a mechanical reading. Instead, there are something which will automatically go in your subconscious mind because of repetitive reading of the same content. So your effort in memorizing will reduce if you look into the newspaper on daily basis. That is the importance of newspaper. However, attending these sessions will reduce your effort in that you generally spend while understanding the nuances and the facts, and doing the backward linkages and forward linkages with a particular topic. So this is the agenda of this particular session, just to reduce your effort in connecting the main content, the content in the newspaper, with your static subjects. Okay, so now let's move forward to the very first topic of today's discussion, which is your counter drone system. So why it is in news, counter drone systems? Because DRDO has developed the technology of developing counter drone system, and they have transferred these technology to the private sector for the manufacturing. Okay, so what is important from your exam point of view? So this is relevant in your GS paper 3. SMT, defense technology. So this is important with respect to science and tech, also in your security exam. So what you need to understand out of this is important for a preliminary point of view. Okay, what is a counter drone system? Okay, what are we referring to when we say counter drone system? See, counter drone systems are the systems which are trying to protect a particular place, a particular territory from the attacks of drones. As you see, like in the recently we have seen that even the Houthis have attacked through drones on the ships which were carrying the cargoes. Okay, so to protect yourself from the threat that the enemy is causing by the usage of drones, the counter drone systems are important. Okay, so if you see the news, what it is in news is, so the technology that DRDO has developed comprise of detection, identification and neutralization. That it can detect that there is a threat is coming, it can identify the kind of threat it is, and it can neutralize. That means it can safeguard us even at our land borders also. Okay, so how it can neutralize? There are two ways that it can neutralize, three ways. One is counter attack, then is soft kill and hard kill. One, so it can counter attack. Okay, second is soft kill and hard kill. Now what is the difference between a soft kill and a hard kill? See, if you see this image, there in this image you see that this particular person is attacking from here, and if you see, this is your soft kill range. Here your soft kill will come into place, and it will change the path of the object which was going in this direction. In soft kill, you change the path of the object. So you prevent yourself by changing the path. However, when you talk about hard kill, you are neutralizing, you are totally eliminating that particular threat which is coming. So for example, if there is a drone which is coming this way and you have this anti-drone system, okay? So if the drone is coming this way, if it is using soft kill, then instead of going in this direction, it will either go in this direction or in this direction. Okay, that means it will change the direction. However, if it is coming in hard kill, so it will eliminate this drone completely. So this is the difference between soft kill and hard kill. So the recent technology that the DRDO has developed is capable of counter attack, soft kill and hard kill, all three of them. Even the micro, it says that they can counter attack even the micro drones. So what is micro drone? That is another important question which is important from your preliminary point of view. See, there is a category of drones. One is your micro, as we said, then you have nano, small, medium, large. This classification is based on the weight of a drone. If the weight of drone is more than 150 kgs, then that is a large drone. If the weight lies between 25 kgs to 125 kgs, that classified to be a medium drone. If the weight lies between 2 kgs to 25 kgs, then that classified to be a small drone. If the weight is between 250 grams to 2 kgs, then that is a micro drone. And when we talk about nano, it is less than 250 grams. Okay, so this is the classification. So the drone system which has been developed is capable of neutralizing all the drones of this micro to large segment. Okay, so this was the classification with respect to the size of the drones. Let's move to the next part. It says that they have transferred the technology to the private industry, include BEL, Bharat Electronic Limited, Adani Group of Industries, Larsen and Toubro, L&T and ICON. These are the 4 private sector companies which have been transferred the technology to build this anti-drone system. Okay, so the DRDO is also been developing 2 systems, namely the Tapas medium altitude long endurance system, that is MAIL. Here UAV stands for unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, and another thing they are developing is short range armed UAV Archer. So this is again for surveillance and reconnaissance target acquisition. This is the purpose. Now the short range one, it's for low intensity conflict. And why we are saying low intensity conflict? So if you know that what is short range is, say for example, this is your control center of the drone. So it can act only within 150 kilometers. If the drone is somewhere in the radius of 150 kilometers from the point of operation, then only it can operate. That is why it is referred to as short range. Now when we saying Tapas medium altitude long endurance system, what do we mean when we say medium altitude? Here it refers to the radius, however when it comes to altitude we are referring to height. So for example, this is your ground point. Okay, so it can, when it is medium, it can act only up to 6 to 9 kilometer in height. And the other version is high altitude, which can act between 15 to 20 kilometers in height. Okay, and it is long endurance. What does the term long endurance means? Long endurance means that it can sustain extreme weather conditions. Okay, that is the meaning of the term long endurance, and it can stay for the longer duration of time. Okay, so that is when we refer to as Tapas and the short range armed UAV. Now let us move to the next topic for the day, which is your superconductivity. See, it is seen in news because there are many scientists from across the world who have been claiming that they have been able to develop superconductivity at room temperature and pressure. That is RTP, room temperature and pressure. Okay, so what are the recent examples? China and Japan have reported they're finding sign of superconductivity in material copper substituted lead apatite, and also South Korea has claimed that they have observed superconductivity in LK99. Now, why this topic was seen in news? See, why it is such a big news. So far what was happening is when you put any substance to extreme low or high temperature, it depict a sort of superconductivity, and this is referred to as Meissner effect. Okay. However, scientists today they are trying to develop superconductivity at room temperature and pressure. Okay. Now, uh, this is appropriate and it has many potential benefit also, but what is the issue? The issue is scientists are trying to establish without having proper conclusive evidences. So because it gives you a sort of name and fame, so they are rushing into proving their point without having conclusive evidences. This is a negative drawback or fallback for the scientific community. Okay, but however, with respect to our exam point of view, what is important for you to know? The application of such superconductors. This is one. Second thing to know is Meissner effect. Okay, so let us understand the benefit of such superconductors which can depict superconductivity at room temperature and pressures. Okay, so the very first thing is that it can be helpful in transportation of electricity through wires, because if you see currently it is the biggest source of losses of electricity across the world. So it can be helpful in making wires that can transport electricity with zero losses. This is the biggest benefit if we have been able to achieve it. Second, it can be useful in medical diagnostics, computing, power generation, advanced electronic circuits, and many other fields likewise. Okay. Now, what are the challenges in developing such superconductors? So, although the primary research shows that they have been able to, there are still some challenges. Now, what are those challenges? The challenges are if you see the historic loop, what does the historic loop represent? It represents the magnetic strength vis-a-vis magnetic density. Now, what is happening is it depicts if the how the strength is related to the density. Okay, so the higher the strength as per the density, it is good conductor. Now the superconductors which have been developed on RTP basis are facing problem in both the end, in terms of strength also, in terms of density also. So when you say, what does that mean? That means, say if you saying this much a huge sample of a particular element or a material or a metal, it is able to conduct the very less amount of the entire product is able to conduct a semiconductor, behaving like semiconductors. Okay, further when they are behaving also, the density which they are behaving, the exhibition of magnetic properties are very weak. They're not strengthy. Okay, so they are facing problem of both the end, magnetic field strength also, and superconductors were quite small also, the portion. Okay, say for example, this is your entire chunk, and out of which only this much was able to behave as a superconductors, and also the magnetic field generated were weak. Okay, so the strength was also less and the density was also less. So that is the challenge that you need to overcome before you actually go into get to the applications of such superconductors. Okay, now this was about this particular topic. Now let's move to the next topic, which is your GI tags. Okay, now why this topic is in use? Because 17 new GI tags were given to various handicrafts and works from Odisha, West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir. We'll discuss about these 17 GI tags in a separate video along with the features of the product which have been given the GI tags in a separate video. However, here we are trying to discuss the basics of the GI tag. Okay, so why it is given? It is given to establish the uniqueness of the product. Okay, and it is given under this particular act, Government of India Geographical Indication of Good Registration and Protection Act 1999. It was enacted in 2003 and Government of India started giving tag in 2003. So this act is important. Okay. GI stand for Geographical Indication. It is also protected under WTO. Okay. So the first GI tag was given to Darjeeling tea, and along with this there are approximately more than 500 GI tags which are given in India so far. And also one thing that you need to know is it's not only with respect to the product in India. You can give GI tag from to the products of other countries as well. So 15 products are originating from 9 different countries as per the present scenario, which have also been given GI tags. They include countries like Italy, France, UK, USA, Ireland, Mexico, Thailand, Peru and Portugal. So these countries have also received GI tag in India for few of their products. Now let us see who can apply for these GI tag. How can you get the GI tag for a particular thing? So any traders body, association, organization, any of these can apply for a GI tag. They just need to prove the uniqueness of the item with their historical records. Okay, and the complete breakdown of how the product is made. You have to give a detailed things like how the product is made. However, the important thing here is it is not necessary that the raw material for that particular product should also be coming from the same region as well. No, that is not necessary. The product should be unique to that particular region. However, the raw material can be sourced from any of the other geographical places. Okay, say for example, the leaf for the Banarasi plant is not grown in Varanasi. It comes from Bihar, West Bengal. Okay. However, the mulberry silk also, which is used in saris from Karnataka, it is not. It is substituted from Karnataka, and the gold zari from Surat. So this is not necessary that the raw material that you are using for making that particular substance should also come from that particular region. So this is one thing that you need to remember when it comes to your preliminary exam. Okay. Now let's see this. This particular data was given in your Hindu newspaper today. So let's see what it says. It says that there are over 500 GI tag, and it is given under 34 classes of products. Okay, and those range from chemicals, paints, foodstuff, handicrafts, musical instrument, etc. Okay, so it can given across a varied variety of things. However, the entire categories of the GI tags, they have been classified into 5 major categories, which includes agriculture products, foodstuff, handicrafts, manufactured and naturally, which are available naturally in that particular area. So when we were discussing that the raw material should not be coming from that particular region, one thing that you need to remember there is if it is an agriculture product, the raw material has to be from that particular area itself. Okay, so what you need to remember is the largest number of GI tags are given in the handicraft category, followed by the agricultural category. This is something that you can remember. This is a factual information that can be asked. Considering the changing nature of UPSC, they can ask this factual question also. Second thing is, Tamil Nadu is home to the largest GI tags, which is equal to 61, followed by Uttar Pradesh 56. Okay, so this is another fact that you can remember. More than this, there is nothing that you should be remembering from this particular article. Moreover, with respect to the recent GI tags and the importance of those products, you can watch another video that will be coming tomorrow. And what is the benefit of giving a GI tag? It prevents unauthorized use of a registered geographical indication by other. It provides legal protection to Indian products. Okay. And also to the tribals and the other indigenous community. Farmers and people who are responsible for the production of such products. So let's see the next topic, which is rule of law. So before we get on the debate of the rule of law, let us understand why this topic is today gaining the importance, why we are discussing this topic currently today. See, it was in news because it was in Bilkis Banu case that the Supreme Court said that rule of law cannot be subjected to the liberty which was achieved by breaching the rule of law itself. Okay, so why are we saying this? See, there were about 11 convicts which were convicted in the Bilkis Banu case for the alleged rape and kidnapping and murder of the family. Okay, now it was Gujarat High Court which was given the power by the Supreme Court to take a decision on the remission of sentence, and the Gujarat High Court decided to remit there and let the 11 convicts move out of the jail premise. Now Supreme Court has now said that the power that the Gujarat High Court took from the Supreme Court was based on the malified reports in fact which was submitted by the police and the case authorities dealing with the cases to take that power to themselves. So it was based on malified. That is why it is saying that the rule of law cannot be subjected to the liberty which was taken on the premise of breach of rule of law. Okay, now what is rule of law? When we say rule of law, see, there are two facets of rule of law. One, your law is supreme. And second, equality before law. What does that mean? That means your law is superior to everyone. Okay, nobody can be, everybody staying in this particular country is subjected to the law. Okay. Second, say equality before law. Equality before law means everybody is equal in the eyes of law. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law. And if you want to know more about rule of law, you can refer to the polity lecture where we discussed the rule of law, and the link for that particular lecture will be given somewhere in the corner. So you please visit that. You will be able to understand the concept of rule of law in much detail. Now coming to this particular article, it says that when you say traditional rule of law, it was based on respect of the law. Okay, people used to trust in the law, people used to respect the law, and the law was based on uniformity. It was uniform for all, it was predictability and certainty. Okay, so any sort of decision making used to grow through a process to deliver proper justice. So say for example, there is any sort of case in the eyes of the judiciary, say for example. So if you apply the principle of rule of law, it will follow the procedure which is given in the law, and then they will decide, the entire procedure will be followed, a proper investigation will go through, it will take its own time. However, all the steps will be duly followed. And that is why then after all the investigations, after all the, when they are certain, that is why we are saying certainty, when they are certain, okay, this is the correct decision, then they will take the call, then they will take the decision. However, what is happening in modern day? Modern day, there are shortcuts and abridged rule of law model that is very quick and reactive ways for doing repressive justice. However, the modern day rule of law, this is specifically giving example of a France, where some of the students who were some of the people who were gathered together were uh, publicly abused by the policemen, and they were supposed to be belonging to Arabs and black people. So this is giving the reference of that particular section. And also it is evident increase in the rate of encounters because people want to get famous. People are rushing to give justice. They feel that they can give justice like this, and they are not trusting the process of law. They are not trusting the law. They are not following the rule of law, and that is why it is leading to a repressive justice that focus more on identifying the target accused, either based on majoritarian dictate or cryptic information. That can be, see, another example of cryptic information is mob lynching. Okay, so people are not trusting the process of the law. If you have any sort of complaint against anybody, why does mob has to go and kill that person or beat that person up? You can literally go to the police, you can lodge your complaint, and you should have faith in the government, faith in the process. But today's scenario, the number of encounters have increased because the administration itself is not having faith in the process of law. At the same time, we have seen the instances of mob lynching has also increased. This is another example of lack of faith in the process of law. So this is what it means when we saying the rule of law is the current day rule of law is not followed properly, and people are looking for abridged rule of law and reactive ways, which is leading to repressive justice. Okay. Now here they are also referring to the Gandhian philosophy on rule of law. So it says that Gandhiji always said, when we talk about Gandhi, he always used to say that you should respect the law. But if one feel that law is unjust, you should protest against the law, but in a democratic, legal manner. Okay. So this is what he used to say, by using the all democratic means. So in recent times, we have seen there were protests which were quite peaceful. However, there were protests which led to bloodshed. People burned buses. So such kind of process which is non-democratic, you should not go for that. So you can protest, but it has to be peaceful. It has to be within the public order. You should not take up the violent activities and harm others just to get your things done. And this is what Gandhian philosophy is. Another thing is, for example, they are saying during Dandi March, he was against the salt law. So he went on to Dandi March, and it was a civil disobedience, but he readily took the punishment for breaking the law. He was ready कि भाई अगर गलती हुआ है तो I will take the punishment. मैंने law break किया है तो I will take the punishment. But the protest, it was democratic. It didn't include any sort of violence. We are just not following the law because we think it is unjust. So you can protest because you are in a democratic society. Protest karna is your right. You should have that say whether you like it or you not. However, when it comes to your action, it should not be violent. It should not be by violent means. You should still have faith in the law and you should respect the law. Okay. Now, what are the challenges faced by the current rule of law when we saying? So, if we talk about an Indian scenario, what is the issue with the laws? There are two issues. Either the laws are outdated, some carry the colonial legal legacy. So that's why people are lacking faith कि ये तो तब के ही हैं, तो why should we go for those laws? These laws do not. The people are lacking faith because they're outdated. Second, they are arising out of an altered perception of law itself that treat law as a power resource. So for the first thing, when you say the outdated, then there are infirmities in law. The government has taken various steps. The government has bring in 3 criminal laws which have replaced IPC CRPC, which originated in the colonial times. Also, they bring in Jan Vishwas bill, in which they repealed some of the outdated laws. So these are the steps. However, they are still not enforced, and we are also seeing that there are some sort of strikes which are going on against the new criminal bill with respect to hit and run cases. So this is something that we need to. It is still to prove its credit. However, in India, it's not that bad a scenario, but the people need to have faith in the law in order for the law to prevail and to have a better peaceful society. At the same time, the essential condition for a continued trust in the rule of law is faith in the inherent goodness or desirability of norm that sets the boundaries between the right and the wrong. So this is a statement which can be of use in your ethics paper. This article is of extremely relevance in for your GS paper 4 and your GS paper 2, which is your governance. You can also use it in essay writing with respect to the governance. So it says, if somebody wants to have trust in the process, the first thing is that you should believe that the law which is there, जो law है, that is for the goodness of the people. You should believe कि the norm is right. If people will believe कि norm is right, they will respect the norm. Okay, so if the law which has been brought in place is for the overall good, that means people are going to follow that, people are going to have faith in it. So inherently goodness has to be widely accepted, and this is one thing which is relevant today. If people feel that the norm which has been set is desirable, they are going to follow it. So the inherent goodness and desirability of the norm are the 2 key factors for the acceptance and non-acceptance of the particular law. Okay, now let's move to the next topic, which is your Krishna Rajasagar Dam in the Mandya district. So this is your Cauvery river. This was seen in news because the Karnataka High Court has stayed all the mining activities in this particular dam. The Krishna Rajasagar Dam is located somewhere here on the junction of Hemvati river with the mainstream of the Cauvery river. So before we get into the details of Cauvery river, let us understand what is the basic nuances of Krishna Rajasagar Dam. It's a gravity dam, and it is a historical dam because it was developed by Krishna Rajasagar Vadiyar 4 between 1911 and it got completed in 1931. So this was developed during this person's reign. Okay, so this is important for you to remember, and do not get confused. This Krishna term is not for the Krishna river, but it is for the king of Mysore. King of Mysore. Okay, so you remember this thing. This is very important from your preliminary exam point of view. Now, if you see Cauvery river, so this is your Cauvery mainstream river. It travels from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so Karnataka, the origin is Talkaveri, Kurg district, Brahmagiri hills. It originates from the Brahmagiri hills. Okay, Hemvati, Shimsha are its major tributaries. And here you have Metur Dam as well. On this side you have Harangi river, Kabini river, Suvarnavati river, Bhavani river and Amravati river. These are the major tributaries, and Cauvery river is always seen in news because of the dispute of Cauvery water distribution between the 2 states. So you can always expect a question coming from this particular river. So there are 3 things that you need to remember, that the origin is Brahmagiri hills. It passes from 2 states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and its tributaries. Some of the major tributaries are Himavati river, Kabini river, Bhavani river, Amravati river. You remember these basic things about it, and since the dam is also in news, always remember this dam is located in the state of Karnataka, and it is a gravity dam which was developed during Vadya dynasty, by the king of Mysore. Okay, so and it is on the Cauvery river. So this is some important factual information which is important when it comes to your exam point of view. For today, this is it. And if you have any questions with respect to what we have discussed today, you can please ask. And till then, take care. Have a nice time. Thank you.